Hello. This is the book I'm going to read to you. Do you notice anything about the cover? Where's the title of the book? Yeah, it's right in the middle. Big and on his hat. Milo imagines the world. And it's by Matt de la Peña, and the pictures are by Christian Robinson. If you notice, this is the pattern of his hat, which I love. I'll take that off. Do you see where they're going? The book hasn't even started yet, but really, in this you can see where they're going. Do you know? Yeah, they're going into a subway station. So, what do you think the setting of this book is going to be? Yeah, they're in a train. Have you ever ridden a train before or been in a subway? Okay. What begins as a slow, distant glow grows and grows into a tired train that clatters down the tracks. A cool rush of wind quiets into a screech of steel. And when the doors slide open, Milo slips aboard. There's Milo. The train bucks into motion as he and his sister squeeze onto bench seats. The whiskered man beside Milo has a face of concentration. Do you know what the word concentration means? Yeah. So it means to pay close attention. Is there a specific face you make when you're paying attention to something? I mean, it could be a lot of things. It could be, Let's see if we can pay attention. A businessman has a blank, lonely face. The wedding-dressed woman near the far door has a face made out of light, while the dog, peeking out of her handbag, has no face at all, just a long, lolling tongue. These monthly Sunday subway rides are never ending, and as usual, Milo is a shook-up soda. Excitement stacked on top of worry, on top of confusion, on top of love. To keep himself from bursting, he studies the faces around him and makes pictures of their lives. As at a downtown local stop, the whiskered man folds up his crossword and hurries off the train. Okay, take a closer look. Pictures, people. Milo imagines him trudging through brown mounds of slush. It's a 5-flight climb to his cluttered apartment, where he's greeted by mewling cats and burrowing rats. Parakeets tweet songs of longing as the man sips tepid soup, hunched over a game of solitaire. Late that night, the door to the parakeet cage mysteriously falls open, and the cats gather on the cold sill to watch the birds fly free above the city. So how can you tell what's different about this picture compared to the other pictures? How can you tell that Milo has drawn this picture? Yeah, you can see his hands and his pencil drawing. And also from the words. You can see that he's imagining these things that he's drawn. Milo tugs his sister's sleeve and holds up his picture. But even when she turns to look, he can tell she doesn't see. She's a shook-up soda, too. A boy in a suit boards the train with his dad. His hair is a perfect part, and there's not a single scuff on his bright white Nikes. What's the point? Milo imagines the clap, clap, clap of the horse-drawn carriage that will carry him to his castle. Imagines the clink, clink, clink of the guards slowly lowering the drawbridge. Across the humid-made moat, the boy is met by a butler, 2 maids, and a gourmet chef offering crust-free sandwiches. What does Milo think about the boy? He thinks he and the boy are different, doesn't he? Milo flips to a fresh page at a bustling midtown stop. What does bustling mean? Does anyone know? Yeah, it means busy and fast paced. So a bustling subway station would be a very busy place, maybe loud too. When the wedding dressed woman strides off the train, a band of street performers launches into "Here Comes the Bride," and everyone on the platform stops and cheers. Milo imagines the grand cathedral ceremony where the couple will be pronounced man and wife, husband and wife. Imagines the groom whisking his new bride to an awaiting hot air balloon, where the pilot loads them in with blankets and blasts the heat. And up they go, hand in hand, beyond the concrete walls of the city, into the infinite blue. Does anyone know what infinite means? Yeah, it means like never ending. So the sky never stops. Milo holds his picture up too, but his sister shoos him away. Can't you see I'm playing my game? He watches the thumbs bang around her smudge screen, then turns back to the boy in the suit. They lock eyes for a few long seconds. And suddenly, it feels like the walls are closing in around Milo. Staring at each other. The spell is broken when a crew of breakers bounds onto the train announcing, "You all ready for a show?" Several curious faces look up as the beat drops. And now the girls are walking up walls. They're whirling around poles. They're back flipping over shopping bags. When the train pulls into the next stop, they collect a few dollars and scramble for another car. That's a good picture. Milo imagines them going from train to train, doing their act as everyone watches. But even after the performances are over, faces still follow their every move. When they walk down the electronics aisle at the department store, when they cross into the fancy neighborhood. Milo doesn't really like this picture, so he puts away his pad and turns to his reflection in the window. You want to see one of those facial expressions of the people looking at the breakers. They don't really look happy, do they? What do people imagine about his face? Can they see him reciting his volcano poem to the class? Can they hear his mom's soothing voice reading him a bedtime book over the phone? Can they smell the chilly Colorado bubbling in a pot in his auntie's apartment near the cemetery? So it's a good picture. Butterflies flood Milo's stomach when it's finally their stop. He follows his sister onto the cold station platform and up the stairs. Above ground, he's surprised to see the boy in the suit a few paces ahead. There's Milo. There's the boy. Where are they going? He's even more surprised when the boy joins the long line to pass through the metal detector. Milo's sister suddenly bends to give him a hug. I didn't mean to snap at you, she says. She takes his hand, adding, You have your picture ready? He nods, feeling the warmth of her fingers. As they slowly shuffle forward, Milo studies the boy in the suit, his dad rubbing his thin shoulders. And a thought occurs to him. Maybe you can't really know anyone just by looking at their face. Milo tries to reimagine all the pictures he made on the train. Maybe he could have done it like this. See, the whiskered man, instead of going home alone, has a family. Or this, and the wedding could be different. Or this. Hey, look, the breakers are coming home to the fancy apartment building. The doorman says, Welcome home! Milo's chest fills with excitement when he spots his mom through the crowd. His sister rushes to give her a hug before pulling Milo in too. And it's in this tight tangle of familiar arms that he feels most alive. Does anyone know what familiar means? It's something you do often and it's well known to you. I think it also in this case means that he's comfortable there. And it's since he feels the most alive, that's a good place for him to be. When they separate, Milo flips through his pad until he finds the right picture. I made this for you, he says, holding it up. And he watches for the smile he hopes will spread across his mom's face. And here, this is the picture that he makes for his mom. Looks like Milo and his sister and his mom eating ice cream. It's a pretty nice picture. I would like to discuss how Milo draws people. That's the main part of the book, right? He's drawing the man with the whiskers, or the boy, or the woman in a wedding dress, and the break dancers. First, he draws them one way, and then he reimagines it and draws them another way. Why do you think he changes? What does that say? When we first looked at the book, we thought certain things, and then We found out more when we looked closer. Do you ever imagine what other people's lives are like? Do you think that you're always right? And what do you want people to imagine about you? I'm Darcy Keller. Thank you for listening.